Halloween weekend is a time filled with excitement, creativity, and a touch of the supernatural, as people across the globe come together to celebrate this unique holiday. From elaborate costumes to spooky decorations, the atmosphere is charged with a sense of fun and mystery. This year, however, the Halloween weekend took an unexpected turn, leading to a series of events that left everyone talking. As the sun set and the moon rose, the streets transformed into a playground for ghosts, ghouls, and all things eerie. Families and friends gathered for parties, haunted houses, and trick-or-treating, but little did they know that the night held surprises that would challenge their perceptions of reality. As we delve into the experiences of this Halloween weekend, prepare yourself for a journey filled with suspense and intrigue. The air was thick with anticipation, and the thrill of the unknown loomed large. What started as a typical celebration quickly spiraled into a series of unexpected twists that would keep everyone on the edge of their seats. From mysterious encounters to unexplainable phenomena, the weekend was anything but ordinary. Imagine walking through a dimly lit neighborhood, the sound of laughter and distant screams echoing in the air, when suddenly, an unexpected event unfolds right before your eyes. Perhaps it was a costume that seemed to come to life, or a prank that took a turn for the bizarre. Each moment was laced with tension, as the line between reality and the supernatural blurred. The stories that emerged from this Halloween weekend are not just tales of fun and fright, they are reminders of how unpredictable life can be, especially when we least expect it. So, join us as we recount the unforgettable experiences of this Halloween weekend, filled with laughter, chills, and those unexpected moments that turned an ordinary celebration into an extraordinary adventure. Get ready to be captivated by the twists and turns that unfolded, leaving us all with stories to tell and memories that will last a lifetime. As Halloween approached, the excitement in the air was palpable, especially within the family's home, where preparations were in full swing. In this suburban neighborhood, where every house seemed to compete for the title of spookiest, the family took their Halloween traditions seriously. Decorations and candy were not just items on a checklist, they were the heart and soul of their celebration. The mother, a spirited and competitive woman, led the charge, determined to create an inviting atmosphere that would draw in trick-or-treaters from all around. The importance of decorations was evident as the family transformed their front yard into a Halloween wonderland. Pumpkins of all shapes and sizes lined the walkway, each one meticulously carved with intricate designs that showcased the mother's artistic flair. Cobwebs draped from the porch, and eerie lights flickered, casting ghostly shadows that danced across the lawn. The mother's competitive spirit shone through as she scoured local stores for the most unique decorations, always aiming to outdo her neighbors. She believed that a well-decorated house would not only attract more trick-or-treaters, but also create a sense of community and excitement among the families in the neighborhood. Candy was another crucial element of their Halloween preparations. The mother insisted on providing a variety of treats, from classic chocolate bars to trendy gummy candies, ensuring that every child left with a smile and a full bag. She often joked that the quality of her candy selection was just as important as the decorations, and she took pride in being known as the house with the best treats. The suburban setting played a significant role in their Halloween experience, as the close-knit community meant that families would often stroll from house to house, creating a festive atmosphere filled with laughter and camaraderie. As the big night approached, the mother's dedication to crafting an inviting atmosphere was evident in every detail. From the carefully arranged decorations to the enticing candy display, she poured her heart into making Halloween a memorable experience for everyone. Her passion not only reflected her competitive nature, but also her desire to foster joy and connection within their suburban neighborhood, ensuring that this Halloween would be one for the books. As Halloween night descended, the family's excitement was palpable, but it quickly turned to disappointment as they noticed a distinct lack of trick-or-treaters. The weather, which had been unpredictable all week, took a turn for the worse. A chilly wind swept through the suburban neighborhood, accompanied by ominous clouds that threatened rain. The mother, who had poured her heart into creating an inviting atmosphere, felt a sinking feeling in her stomach as she watched the clock tick by with only a handful of children appearing at their door. Determined to attract more trick-or-treaters, the mother put her efforts into overdrive. She had already decorated the yard with an array of spooky decorations, but now she decided to take it a step further. She donned her witch hat and stepped outside, waving enthusiastically at passing families, hoping to entice them to stop by. She even set up a small fire pit in the front yard, hoping the warmth would draw in chilly children and their parents. A smell of freshly baked cookies wafted through the air as she placed a tray of treats on the porch, hoping that the aroma would lure in more visitors. Despite her best efforts, the turnout remained dishearteningly low. The emotional impact of the low participation weighed heavily on the family, particularly on the mother. She had envisioned a bustling night, filled with laughter and joy, where children would flock to their home, excited to collect candy and share in the Halloween spirit. Instead, she found herself staring at a nearly empty bowl of candy, feeling a sense of loss for the festive atmosphere she had worked so hard to create. The disappointment was palpable, not just for her, but for the entire family, who had eagerly anticipated the night's festivities. As the evening wore on, the mother tried to maintain a brave face, but the lack of trick-or-treaters cast a shadow over their Halloween celebration. The family gathered together, sharing stories and reminiscing about past Halloweens filled with laughter and joy, but the absence of children on their doorstep served as a stark reminder of the night's unexpected turn. It was a bittersweet moment, highlighting the unpredictability of life and the importance of community during such cherished traditions. As the night deepened and the wind howled outside, an unsettling series of sounds began to emanate from the attic, sending shivers down the protagonist's spine. At first, it was a faint scratching, almost like the scurrying of small feet across the wooden beams. But as the minutes passed, the noises grew louder and more pronounced, morphing into a series of thuds and muffled whispers that echoed through the quiet house. Each sound seemed to reverberate in the protagonist's mind, amplifying a growing sense of unease that settled heavily in the pit of their stomach. The attic held a significant place in the family's home. It was a space filled with memories, old toys, and forgotten treasures. However, it was also a place shrouded in mystery and shadows, often avoided by the family due to its eerie atmosphere. The protagonist had always felt a strange connection to the attic, a mix of curiosity and dread that kept them at bay. Now, with the unsettling noises creeping through the walls, that dread intensified, transforming curiosity into a gnawing fear. What could be causing those sounds? Was it merely the wind, or was something or someone lurking in the darkness above? As the protagonist stood frozen in the hallway, heart racing and breath quickening, they felt an instinctual urge to investigate. Yet, every fibre of their being screamed to turn back. The thuds grew more insistent, punctuated by an occasional creak of the floorboards above, as if whatever was up there was aware of their presence. The atmosphere thickened with tension, and the protagonist could almost feel the weight of unseen eyes watching from the shadows. With each passing moment, the sense of danger loomed larger, foreshadowing potential threats that lay hidden in the attic's depths. The protagonist's mind raced with possibilities. Was it merely a trick of the imagination, or was there something sinister at play? The combination of the eerie sounds and the attic's foreboding reputation created a perfect storm of suspense, leaving the protagonist torn between the desire to uncover the truth and the instinct to flee. As the night wore on, the chilling noises continued, echoing through the house, a haunting reminder that some mysteries are better left undisturbed. The atmosphere in the house was thick with tension as the protagonist stood frozen in the dimly lit hallway, heart pounding in their chest. The eerie sounds from the attic had escalated into a cacophony of unsettling noises, and just as they were about to retreat, a shadow darted across the living room. Panic surged through them, and they instinctively called out for their father, their voice trembling with fear. The father, who had been in the kitchen, rushed into the hallway, his expression shifting from confusion to alarm as he registered the fear in his child's eyes. "What's wrong?" he asked, his voice low and steady, but the urgency in his tone was unmistakable. The protagonist pointed toward the living room, where the shadow had vanished. "I saw someone! There's someone in the house!" The father's demeanor changed instantly. He moved with purpose, his protective instincts kicking in. He gestured for the protagonist to stay back, and with a deep breath, he crept toward the living room, every muscle tense and alert. The protagonist's heart raced as they watched their father disappear into the shadows, the silence in the house now deafening. Time seemed to stretch as they waited, each second feeling like an eternity. The fear of the unknown gnawed at them, and they could feel the adrenaline coursing through their veins. The thought of an intruder lurking in their home was terrifying, and the reality of the situation began to sink in. They needed to call the police. With trembling hands, the protagonist fumbled for their phone, dialing 911 as they tried to steady their breath. "Please, hurry!" they whispered into the receiver, the urgency of the situation weighing heavily on them. The operator's calm voice felt distant, almost surreal, as they relayed the address and the nature of the emergency. Meanwhile, the father returned from the living room, his face pale but resolute. "We need to stay quiet and wait for help," he instructed, his voice barely above a whisper. As they huddled together in the hallway, the tension in the air was palpable. Every creak of the house seemed amplified, and the protagonist's mind raced with thoughts of what could happen next. They could only hope that help would arrive soon, as the fear of the intruder lingered like a dark cloud, casting a shadow over their once safe home. When the police finally arrived, their presence brought a mix of relief and apprehension to the family. The officers moved swiftly through the house, their flashlights cutting through the darkness as they searched for the intruder. The protagonist and their father stood in the hallway, hearts racing, as they listened to the officers' footsteps echoing through the rooms. After what felt like an eternity, the lead officer emerged from the living room, a grim expression on his face. "We found him," he announced, and the family's breath caught in their throats. The intruder was a young man in his late 20s, disheveled and visibly agitated. As the officers apprehended him, they learned that he had a troubled background, marked by a history of petty theft and substance abuse. It appeared he had been looking for a place to hide, desperate and lost, with no intention of causing harm to the family. The officers explained that he had entered through an unlocked window, likely drawn by the warmth of the home and the promise of safety. The realization that the intruder was not a violent criminal, but rather a troubled individual seeking refuge, brought a strange sense of relief to the family, yet it did little to ease their lingering unease. As the police escorted the intruder out of the house, the family exchanged glances. A mixture of shock and disbelief etched on their faces. They were grateful that nothing had been stolen and that they were unharmed, but the incident had shattered their sense of security. The protagonist felt a knot of anxiety tighten in their stomach, realizing that their once safe haven had been violated. The comforting familiarity of their home now felt tainted, as if the walls themselves held the echoes of fear. In the days that followed, the family struggled to regain their sense of normalcy. They installed new locks and reinforced the windows, but the shadow of that night lingered in their minds. Every creak of the house, every gust of wind seemed to remind them of the intruder's presence. While they were thankful for the police's swift action, the incident had left an indelible mark on their lives, a reminder that safety could never be taken for granted. The family found themselves navigating a new reality, one where the comfort of home was now intertwined with the haunting memory of an unexpected threat. The Halloween party was in full swing, filling the protagonist's home with laughter, music, and the delightful aroma of seasonal treats. The living room was transformed into a haunted haven, adorned with cobwebs, flickering candles, and an array of carved pumpkins that cast eerie shadows on the walls. Friends had arrived in an assortment of costumes, from whimsical fairies to terrifying monsters, each adding to the vibrant atmosphere. The protagonist had set a few simple rules: no scary pranks, respect the decorations, and most importantly, everyone was to stay together, especially when venturing outside for the planned ghost tour in the backyard. As the night progressed, the energy was infectious, with guests dancing and sharing spooky stories. However, amidst the revelry, the protagonist noticed a figure lingering at the edge of the party, partially obscured by the shadows. Clad in a tight-fitting skeleton bodysuit, the mysterious guest stood silently, their face hidden behind a mask that left only their eyes visible. The figure seemed out of place, not engaging with anyone, and the protagonist felt a chill run down their spine as they caught sight of the uninvited guest. Curiosity piqued, the protagonist decided to investigate. They approached the figure, trying to gauge their intentions. "Hey there, I don't think we've met. What's your name?" they asked, forcing a smile despite the unease creeping into their voice. The skeleton-clad figure turned slightly, but instead of responding, they simply stared, their eyes glinting in the dim light. The silence stretched uncomfortably, and the protagonist felt a knot of apprehension tighten in their stomach. As the music played on and laughter echoed around them, the protagonist couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. They glanced back at their friends, who were blissfully unaware of the tension building in the air. Determined to uncover the truth, the protagonist decided to follow the mysterious figure as they slipped away from the crowd and headed toward the dimly lit hallway. Each step felt heavier than the last, and the atmosphere shifted, the festive spirit giving way to an unsettling sense of foreboding. What was this guest doing at the party? Were they simply a shy attendee, or was there something more sinister at play? The protagonist's heart raced as they ventured deeper into the shadows, ready to confront the unknown. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the suburban neighborhood, the protagonist felt a wave of anxiety wash over them. It was Halloween night, a time meant for fun and excitement, but this year was different. The recent reports of a clown epidemic had sent shockwaves through the community, with stories of creepy clowns lurking in the shadows and causing chaos. The protagonist had tried to shake off the unease, but as they donned their costume and joined friends for trick-or-treating, the fear lingered like a dark cloud overhead. The streets were alive with laughter and the sounds of children running from house to house, but the protagonist couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. As they approached a particularly darkened corner of the neighborhood, the atmosphere shifted, the laughter faded, replaced by an unsettling silence that seemed to envelop them. It was then that they spotted him, a man in a clown mask, standing motionless at the end of the street. The mask was grotesque, with exaggerated features and a wide, sinister grin that sent chills down the protagonist's spine. Heart racing, the protagonist felt a surge of panic. "Guys, look!" they called out, pointing toward the figure, but their friends, caught up in the excitement of the night, merely laughed, dismissing the protagonist's concerns as overreacting. "It's just a costume, come on," they urged, but the protagonist couldn't shake the feeling of dread that settled in their stomach. The clown stood there, unmoving, and the longer they stared, the more the tension escalated. Suddenly, the clown began to move, slowly advancing toward them with an eerie, deliberate gait. The protagonist's instincts kicked in, and they felt a primal urge to flee. "We need to go," they shouted, grabbing their friends' arms and pulling them away. But the clown's laughter echoed through the night, a chilling sound that sent shivers down their spines. The group turned to run, but the figure was quick, darting closer, the laughter growing louder and more manic. As they sprinted down the street, the protagonist's heart pounded in their chest, fear propelling them forward. The thrill of trick-or-treating had transformed into a nightmare, and the shadows of the night seemed to close in around them. The laughter of the clown echoed in their ears, a haunting reminder that Halloween could hold more than just candy and costumes. It could also bring unexpected terror lurking just around the corner. The atmosphere in the house was thick with tension as the protagonist and his girlfriend huddled together in the dimly lit living room, their hearts pounding in unison. The earlier sense of safety had evaporated, replaced by a chilling awareness that they were not alone. They had heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps creeping through the hallway, each step echoing ominously in the silence. The protagonist's mind raced, adrenaline coursing through his veins as he exchanged a terrified glance with his girlfriend. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, her voice trembling. He nodded, his throat dry as he strained to listen. The footsteps grew louder, drawing closer, and a sense of dread settled over them like a heavy blanket. They had locked the doors and turned off the lights, but the reality of an intruder in their home felt all too real. The protagonist's instincts kicked in. He knew they had to confront whatever was lurking in the shadows. "Stay here," he urged, his voice low but firm. He grabbed a nearby lamp, its weight reassuring in his hands, and slowly made his way toward the hallway. Each creak of the floorboards beneath his feet felt like a thunderclap in the stillness, amplifying the chaos in his mind. He could feel his girlfriend's eyes on him, filled with fear and uncertainty, but he couldn't let her down. They had to protect each other. As he reached the end of the hallway, the footsteps stopped abruptly, plunging them into an eerie silence. The protagonist's heart raced as he peered around the corner, gripping the lamp tightly. Suddenly, a shadow darted past him, and he swung the lamp with all his might, but it connected with nothing but air. Panic surged through him as he realized the intruder was fast, and they were in a fight for their lives. "Run!" he shouted, turning back to his girlfriend. But chaos erupted as the intruder lunged from the darkness. The room exploded into a flurry of movement, the sound of shuffling feet and muffled shouts filling the air. The protagonist felt a surge of fear as he pushed his girlfriend behind him, desperate to shield her from harm. The world around them blurred into a whirlwind of adrenaline and terror, and in that moment, all that mattered was survival. They were trapped in a nightmare, and the fight for their safety had only just begun. As we wrap up this thrilling journey through our Halloween experiences, it's essential to reflect on the key points we've discussed and the valuable lessons learned along the way. Halloween is a time of celebration, creativity, and fun, but it also serves as a reminder of the importance of safety and awareness. Whether it's ensuring that your home is secure, being mindful of your surroundings while trick-or-treating, or understanding the potential risks associated with the holiday, staying vigilant can make all the difference in creating a safe environment for everyone. Throughout our stories, we've encountered unexpected twists, from eerie sounds in the attic to frightening encounters with intruders. These experiences highlight the need for preparedness and communication, especially during a time when excitement can sometimes overshadow caution. It's crucial to have a plan in place, whether you're hosting a party or heading out to collect candy. By prioritizing safety, we can enjoy the festivities while minimizing risks. We'd love to hear your own Halloween stories. Have you ever faced a spooky situation or encountered something unexpected during the holiday? Sharing your experiences not only fosters a sense of community, but also helps others learn from your insights. So don't hesitate to drop your stories in the comments below. We can't wait to read them. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on more thrilling content, be sure to subscribe to our channel. By hitting that subscribe button, you'll join our growing community and never miss out on our latest adventures, tips, and stories. And while you're at it, give us a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Your support means the world to us. As we continue to explore the fascinating and sometimes frightening aspects of Halloween and beyond, we invite you to join us on this journey. Together we can share in the excitement, learn from our experiences, and create a safe and enjoyable environment for everyone. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.